Hey everyone, welcome to the post-show wrap-up of the Shrimp Tank Podcast. I'm your host, Rich Jensen, along with my co-host today, Matt Haas, and our special guest, Collin McReynolds of Crave, Fuel for Life. Each week on the post-show wrap-up, we like to bring you some of the highlights of our conversations with our special guest. We actually talk to some of the most interesting and successful entrepreneurs, business owners, and CEOs in and around Central Arkansas. So you'll definitely want to hit the subscribe button when you go there and just download it on iTunes so you can catch the entire podcast and all future podcasts. But our talk today with Collin was really, really fun. And one thing that I don't know if it'll come through if you don't listen to the podcast, but believe it or not, before she started Crave, she weighed 75 pounds more than she does right now. I was in shock. So it must work. Absolutely. It's not only healthy, you actually lose weight off of that. So
definitely.
So for the benefit of our viewers, we want to ask a couple of questions to highlight what we covered in the podcast. But take us back. I love the story. You're a single mom living in an apartment and working a full-time job you don't really like. And you talked about having $50 cash in a Ziploc bag for whatever reason. But that's what you started your business with, and just with a few customers, serving them, and it grew from there. But at what point did you realize, I'm going to go for it and start my own business?
I'd say when I was working all night with Crave and then working all day at my job. And after a little bit of that, you get kind of tired. So I hit a wall and I needed to make a change and make that jump. And I've always been kind of a risk taker. So that's when I decided to take that risk and create something that was beneficial to everyone around me.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned, obviously having $50 to your name in a Ziploc bag is pretty scary.
Yeah.
How did you build up the basically the intestinal fortitude to just go ahead and commit?
Well, I had my friends and family were really supportive in pre-ordering. So that really got me off the ground and getting them to pre-order, buy the ingredients, and then create the meal so they could take it home. And through that, it just kept building over time.
So that's a good lesson for any entrepreneur. If you can, get the money up front.
Yes, definitely.
So your money's not all tied up in inventory. You also talked about your company culture, and I thought it was really interesting as you went to hire people. Some people you hired, and then you had to let them go, which happens a lot. But then you kind of hit on something that seems to work for your culture. Tell our viewers about that.
Yes. One thing when I'm reading over applications, I love looking at their high school or college kind of experience there. And one of the highlights there is the sports. If they're involved in any sports, then I kind of feel like they have some drive and motivation and that they're trainable. So through that, at Crave, we give them a gym membership at CrossFit Align. And then we also provide them with meals to eat throughout the week.
So nice side benefits there.
Right. Trying to create something healthy for them. And it seems to be that the people that have an athletic background are really great people.
They take that competitive spirit and they bring it to the business world.
Yes.
That's great.
You talked about how early on you had to go through a few people to figure out personalities and drive and where they fit in. But you mentioned a tool that we were unaware of that you said really benefited your business. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So during the hiring process, each applicant will go to 16personalities.com. It's 16personalities.com. And that is a personality test. It prints off, and it's really fun to read over each applicant. And through that, I can see where I want to place them. So if their strengths are in creating, I'm going to try and get them in a position to where, and it kind of lets me see, is this someone that we need at the time?
Right.
So that's been a huge tool that we've used.
Are you typically hiring to a need, or you just come across a real quality person and say, hey, I wonder if this person could fit with our company?
I'd say a quality person.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So the next quality person that needs a job, go on down to Crave and just hang out.
Yeah.
Maybe put $50 in a Ziploc baggie and say, I have a dream.
Make sure you wear your basketball shoes.
Yes.
Basketball shoes, track shoes, whatever it might be. Just say, I have a dream, and have $50 in a Ziploc bag on around your neck. Hey, Collin, it was really fun getting to know you and having you on the show. For those who aren't familiar with Crave, want to find out more, maybe even take advantage of the meal service that you provide. And in fact, as you give them how to get a hold of you, tell them a little bit in a real snapshot what Crave Fuel for Life actually provides.
We are a meal service in Central Arkansas. We provide meals that are pre-made, that are ready to eat, and you just heat and eat. All of our ordering is done online at www.cravefuel.com. And on there, you have two different options. We have a subscription plan where you can subscribe and have a weekly recurring, so you don't have to remember to order. We deliver it to your work or home, and you're fueled for the week and feeling
I can
good.
see already all the BRS employees are going to say, hey, we want Crave meals as a side benefit, employee benefit. Hey, thanks so much for joining us on the post-show wrap-up. Each week, as I mentioned, you can listen to the entire podcast at arkansas.shrimptankpodcast.com. Until next week, stay safe, and remember, in the business world, to become a shark, we all start out as shrimp.